Hi friends, Itheria here, and today I wanted to make a video dedicated to sprouts. I've done a 10 tips video before, so if you haven't watched that one, then maybe go check it out, but that one did include some tips that I hoped that maybe some more long-term players wouldn't know, but this one I'm gearing specifically towards beginner players, so if you are a veteran, I can't promise that you're gonna learn anything new today. Anyways, let's just get right into it. So my first tip is about focusing your target. You do this by clicking on your target and then pressing Shift F. You can also right-click their bar and use the drop-down menu and you'll see it says focus target on there, but Shift F is the easier way to do so. Since I play healer, I like to focus the boss. This allows me to still see the boss's cast bar while I'm going and healing other players. Some healers though do like to focus target the tank instead because there is an enemy list. I believe the default position of this is on the right side of your screen and you can see cast bars on the enemy list as well, but I personally just prefer to use focus target. Tip number 2 is using the legacy camera. So when you first start the game, the camera is defaulted to something called a standard camera. What this means is that if you press S, your character will walk backwards. However, this is not great for dodging mechanics. If you switch to legacy camera, then your character will run towards the screen when you press S, and it just works a lot better for getting yourself out of mechanics. So how do you set this up? You go to your character configuration settings, the control settings, and then just click legacy type, and in parentheses it says camera based. And that is how you get your character to run towards the screen instead of walk slowly backwards. Tip number 3, I'm going to tell you how to set a flag. For whatever reason in my last video I talked about flag related chat shortcuts, but I didn't actually teach you how to set a flag. So all you have to do is open your map, hold Control, and then right click on the area where you want the flag to be. If you're using a controller, this would be L1 plus R1. Now, flags are mostly useful for maps or if you're trying to show somebody where something is. If you have died, I would still recommend using less than, POS greater than, and then pressing enter in the chat because that will give your exact position. So that's just a little bit easier if you died and you're looking for a res. Tip number 4, I want to talk about the challenge log and the hunt log. I think some sprouts don't really know about their existence, but let's start with the challenge log. So first of all, the challenge log is something that you have to unlock. So to unlock this, you have to be level 15 and you have to have completed your respective Call of the Sea quest, which is part of the main scenario quest line in Gridania, Limsa, or Ul'dah. Then you can talk to Itolwan in Limsa Lominsa Upper Decks, and they should have a quest for you called Rising to the Challenge. Once you unlock the challenge log, there's a number of things that you can do with it. So you can get extra EXP for doing dungeons. So for instance, if you complete 3 dungeons using the duty roulette, which is the U menu, then you will get rewarded with a little bit of gil and some EXP, which can be really helpful for leveling. And there's, a few different things in there that will give you EXP. There's also challenge logs for fates. Again, you'll get EXP for completing them. Love quests, same thing. But there's also a section in the challenge log for places like the Gold Saucer, so you can get extra MGP by completing some of those. So if you are farming MGP or you want to farm MGP, there's something cool that you want to buy with MGP, then definitely check out the challenge log. As for the hunt log, there is no specific quest that you have to do to unlock it. Instead, it will unlock when you do your job quest. So once you get to level 5, you can do job quests for whatever role you've chosen, and that will unlock it automatically. Then you can just press H, or you can find it in the log menu, and you can see from there what mobs you need to kill. Once again, this will help you level up by giving you EXP. Another thing that it's useful for is once you unlock your Grand Companies, they will have a Grand Company hunt log that they will expect you to complete to rank up, but it also gives you Grand Company seals, and this is actually really useful because you will need to use those seals to rank up. You have to pay them Grand Company seals to rank up, and you do want to rank up in your Grand Company because you can buy different crafting materials that even if you're not a crafter, you can sell, so you can make a little bit of chump change off those. And also there's things like grammar prisms and ventures and other useful little tidbits. Next, for tip number 5, I want to talk about some keyboard shortcuts. I'm kind of lumping them together because they do similar things. So first we have scroll lock, then we have X, and we have Numpad 0. So what scroll lock does is it just completely eliminates your UI, or I should say hide is a better term. You press scroll lock, your UI goes away, and you get a beautiful picture of the entire game. It's great if you're taking screenshots. I should mention too that scroll lock is actually really great if you're doing Leap of Faith and there's like a crap ton of people in there. You just press scroll lock and then you can run through without having like people in your way. I feel like when their names are gone, it's a lot easier to see where you're jumping, so I like it for that. And then you just press it again to bring back your UI to make sure that you've gotten all your silver and bronze and gold statues, and yeah, then you're good to go. The next one is, let's say that you're in a group of players and you're trying to target an NPC. If you press X, all of their names will be eliminated, so you can no longer click on their names, and you'll more easily be able to click on the NPC. But you have to hold X down. Don't just press it, press and hold it. Numpad 0 does something similar to X, but it doesn't get rid of people's names. Instead, it actually functions as a hotkey, and it is the hotkey for confirm. So if you're standing near to an NPC and you're in a group of players and you press 0 on your Numpad, it will automatically basically function as if you had right-clicked on that NPC. From there, you can actually continue to press Numpad 0 if you want to, and it will function as if you were clicking on whatever text is highlighted. So basically, these are all great ways to make it easier to see things. Tip number 6 is the teleport menu. When I was a Sprout, for far too long, I used to just open the map to try and get places. I actually would use an airship to get to the gold saucer. I didn't even know how to get back to the wolf's den after doing the quest for it. I was just like, I don't know. The teleport menu. This is originally put on your bar when you are a beginner player and you learn the skill, but if you took it off like me, you can find it in the P menu. But it's blue and it has like a little person on it. And it just opens up a menu where you can see all of the places that exist in the game that you can teleport to, and you can just choose one. And you can go right to the gold saucer or the wolf's den. You don't have to be dumb like me. Tip number 7 is leaving places using the U menu. So the U menu is what you use to queue into stuff, but once you're inside, you can use it to leave it. There are other places that you can use the U menu to leave from as well. Bozja is one of them. Eureka. Any instanced area, you can use the U menu to leave. And the cool thing about like the Bozjan Southern Front is that you could be in the middle of it. You don't have to be like in a camp or a safe zone. You can just leave from anywhere. And I find that so helpful. It does other things as well, like you can vote abandon. You know, if everybody is just like, this isn't going well, and you all want to just drop the raid, you can use vote abandon in the U menu. So there you go, the U menu. Tip number 8 is how to reduce player effects so that you can more easily see the boss mechanic. This is a problem I had when I was new, and a problem that I hear a lot of people saying that they have is that they cannot see that other players' skills are so bright and sparkly and fiery and just dramatic that they can no longer see boss effects on the floor. So they end up stepping in danger zones. So this is how you can reduce those effects. Go to your character configuration settings, click on Control Settings, go to the Character tab, and then choose Show Limited for Party and Others. I don't care what you do for PvP. The reason I'm telling you to do limited instead of getting rid of them completely is because healer bubbles like Sacred Soil or Asylum will not show up if you completely erase all of the effects, and there's nothing we healers hate more than when you don't stand in our bubble. Tip number 9 has to do with active time maneuvers. I made this mistake, and I'm sure so many people have, but when an active time maneuver comes up, many people will just click as fast as they can on their mouse or click one button on their keyboard. Here's the thing, you can face roll it, okay? You can smash a billion buttons with all of your fingers, just type gibberish, and you will complete the active time maneuver way more easily and quickly than you would just pressing one button. You will never fail if you face roll, okay? So face roll it. And finally, tip number 10 is about saving gear sets. You can save gear sets. How do you do this? You go to your C menu, and you click the button that says Gearsets. It kind of looks like a little piece of paper, and then that will open a new menu, and in that menu there is a plus sign, and that will create a gear set for you, which will be whatever you are wearing. You can also update these gear sets in the C menu. There's a little button that looks like some arrows, and that will just update your current gear set so that you don't have to create a new one or anything every time that you get new gear. You can create gear sets for basically every job that you have, and that is the point of it, is it allows you to more easily switch between jobs. You can open that menu and double click on a gear set to change your job, and you can also create more than one gear set for the same job if you want to. So there you go, those were my 10 tips for beginner players in Final Fantasy XIV. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments. I do still have quite a number of tips that I can give about Final Fantasy XIV, but I've been sticking to about 10 per video to try and keep the videos from getting too long. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye!